Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. Tier 2, if you can use the site emote. If you're not a subscriber, you can say hi. You could use other people's emotes. You could be a lurker. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. We are currently at 39 out of 40 subscribers. Would love to hit that 40 if you would like to become a subscriber. If you were in the past, Ghost Valve's here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Or if you are looking to gift a sub to somebody in the community. Actually, I have to update that. We just dropped down to 38. In real time, I am adjusting this. Hold on. Let me figure out where my mouse went. I have 3 monitors, and sometimes my mouse gets weird on me. Great. I got to drop that down to 38. We are at 38 out of 40 subscribers. Trying to get back up to that 40 so that we can try to get to 45, so we can try to get to 50. You get it. Aristophan is here. Hello, Aristophan. Welcome, welcome. So tonight, we are working on a mobile suit. It is not a Gundam. It is not from Gundam, but it is made by Bandai. It is the AUG from L Gaim, Heavy Metal L Gaim, which is a fucking kick-ass name for an anime. This kit was developed originally or released, I should say, in 2002, and then in 2021, it received a re-release with some new updated parts. Basically, the parts that were color corrected via stickers were replaced with actual pieces so that you didn't need stickers. So this kit requires 0 stickers. It just had some new components, like a clear green face plate there instead of using a sticker on a clear part like behind it. So that's rad. So no stickers on this kit. The AUG, the Heavy Metal AUG, is like the main villain's kit, which is why it's made of gold and has a scythe. Look, it's a mobile suit with a scythe, so you know I was going to pick this up. Do I have any experience with that particular anime? Not really. I know of it. Mostly I just thought it looked cool. And like the face has got like tendrils. Not tentacles. Like it's got like tendrils coming out. It's weird looking. It's a weird face. It's a weird kit. It's very shiny. The gold is very shiny. It's got some asymmetrical design to it, which I can appreciate very much. And we're going to keep working on it. We did the head basically on Thursday stream, and now we're going to work on the rest of the kit and talk about a bunch of stuff and hang out. It's Saturday, so I do hope that you're ready to hang out on a Saturday evening. Let me just check something real quick. Yeah, okay, we got some fine faces here in the chat. Hoping a few more folks decide to join us. If they don't, that's okay. Let me promote the Plastic Model Weekender. Boom, the Plastic Model Weekender is happening 1 week from tonight. It starts on Friday. My shift will be from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern. So it's my normal 2-hour shift, except I will be doing it earlier in the night at Planmo Weekender's Twitch page. So if you tune in here, it'll be hosted. I'm going to host it on my own Twitch. So if you come back at 7 p.m., you'll see that. But really, I want you to play my Weekender. We're going to be raising funds for the Cure Alzheimer's Fund, which is a great cause. And there will be, if you donate, I don't remember what the minimum is. I apologize. Donation, there will be some giveaways. And I will be doing a donation incentive, whereas every $50 raised during my shift, I will open a random pack of trading cards or playing cards or movie cards. I got all these weird random card packs. I bought more than last year because last year I raised so much money that I ran out of packs and had to do a bonus thing where I opened more. So I bought more, and I hope that I open all of them. And then I'll try to build a very cool model kit while I'm doing that. That looks like a dragon. It's pretty fucking cool. So yeah, obviously more about that in the future. I'll be promoting that. I don't know for sure if this is going to happen or not, but I am going to have my Discord available on Monday and Thursday streams of this coming week. For the first hour of my stream, I will have voice chat open with other presenters, which I've never done before. I've never had audio guests during the stream, but that's kind of just a way for me to kind of chill with them and also maybe promote a little bit. It also means that I don't have to come up with like topics per se that week, next coming week. So that sounds cool. So I don't know who will show up and how many will show up on Monday and Thursday, but I'm making that available to them. I do have to remember to get my Twitch overlay. Not overlay. There's an overlay for Discord where you can see the names of who's talking, so you'll know who my guests are, and I have to figure out how to do that because I haven't. Anyway, let's see what else I got to do here. Okay, gonna reply to my tweet. Great, we did that. That's good. Okay, now let's go to the overhead. Here's the overhead. We're working on the AUG here. As you can see, we got the head done. We'll put that up there. And this is looking okay. Everything's looking good. Great. I was a little worried that some of the things that I normally do on stream might have been a little funky or wonky because I cleaned my computer yesterday. So I had to shut everything down. I've been putting my computer to sleep mostly because it is a new PC, and why not? And that way I don't have to reset any settings in OBS that don't save for some reason to do with my webcam and such. But I did have to completely shut it down. I did take a photograph of every cable in the back so that I would put it back together correctly, which I managed to do, thankfully. There's some undergating on this kit. This kit has undergating. It does say where they are, or at least that it has it, if it doesn't say where it is, so you can kind of find it. I believe I got the undergating done there. We'll see. Oh, no, there it is. There's the right there. Great. So I got to be careful of the old undergating. But yeah, I was able to take this out. Here's a new thing about this computer that I haven't had on previous computers. This computer has a glass panel, and I got fingerprints all over it. So I had to use glass cleaner and clean it up before it went back on. And that's a new thing. Usually when I clean my computer, it's just dusting the computer. It's not also cleaning up after, my own foolishness. So that was new. But I managed to clean it all out, blow dust through everything, or compressed air through everything to clean it all up. So I was happy with that. And everything's running. Everything came back to life. Everything got plugged in right where it was supposed to be. There's no issues there. So that's nice. I was a little worried. And now I also, which I haven't done, is I had to save the PDF of the keyboard. My keyboard, because when I powered down the computer and unplugged the keyboard, I have to reset it because its default is to use a bunch of LED bullshit, a bunch of colored lights or RGB nonsense that I don't want. So I had to remember how to change it to be a constant color and then turn down the brightness to 0 so that we don't see any of that at all. You have to do both those steps. You can't just, because when it's because it has a cycle through all the colors mode, and then it has just one color on, and I don't want either of those things. So I remembered to find the PDF and save it, which is buried on their website, which you would hope that it would be easier to find, but whatever. This was a computer. Hey, this keyboard was included in the purchase of this computer. So, what are you gonna do? L. Okay, we need L here. Which is L is gonna connect that. I believe this is how our head connects to our chest here, and then we need B3. So we'll get that up. Other things, other announcements, general things. I've been talking a bit about how I was trying to get on some podcasts or live streams to promote the Plastic Model Weekender. That has become a thing where I am guesting on a podcast this week, but it is a Patreon exclusive podcast. It is a bonus podcast for some people. I won't say who, but I have doing that, which is not as good as being on like a main podcast. It's not as, certainly it's not the same as being on a main podcast, but it'll still be cool. It's still going to be really fun to do and to hang out, and it will reach a lot of ears, which is what I want. But it wasn't exactly what I was necessarily like hinting at as far as like exposure, because I was looking to reach the most people possible. But it's okay. It's pitching yourself is weird. Can we talk about that, chat? Let's talk about that, huh? Hey, Aristofan just gifted 2 subs to the community. Plamo Build Report, who's also doing the Plastic Model Weekender, and Nathan Explosion, who only shows up for anime talk, but that's okay. So let's hit the applause there. Let's throw the emotes in the chat. Aristofan, thank you for gifting those subs. You're moving up on the gift sub leaderboard. That rules. Gonna throw some emotes in there. Let's see some other people throw some emotes in. We're back up to 40 subscribers. We're on the road to 45 again. I gotta, there it is. Nope. We're gonna go here. There we go. So thank you very much for that. Appreciate it very much, Aristofan. Thank you very much for that. But let's talk about, it is also very funny because I only do the anime stream like every couple months. So like sometimes I always just like, I wonder if Nathan Explosion even noticed. But it is nice to see Nathan. It is nice to have like anime regulars. Because there are some of y'all that like don't particularly enjoy most of what I do on Wednesdays. But then when I did the Hearthstone stream, somebody who doesn't particularly like the model kit streams came and watched that. And I was just like, okay. And there were a few people that like came for the wrestling stream last Wednesday that I don't know if anything else I do will interest them. So it's just like, I don't know, that I find that fun. I'm not chasing any of it, but I do find it fun to like wonder what's going to hit with certain people. Anyway, talking about a person I have much respect for on the internet, who seems to be a lovely fellow, named Tom Campbell, who is a UK gentleman that is on the radio, BBC Radio, and also is a personality for podcasts and some video content for Cultaholic, which is a wrestling YouTube channel and website. So he does some stuff for them. Lots of news, lots of podcasts. Tom is great. Anyway, Tom wrote, how do you prevent or how do you fight... let me find his actual tweet. Because it was said succinctly, which I'm not particularly great at. So let me go see what Tom said and then what I said exact back to him. Let's see. Tom posed. Oh, actually, he deleted it. Never mind. Shit. I don't know why Tom deleted that tweet, but he did. So I feel bad for bringing it up and mentioning him. But anyway, Tom asked about people. This is very awkward now that I went to go look for it and then found out that he deleted it. But anyway, let's talk about this. Imposter syndrome. It was about imposter syndrome. And my response to that message was basically, I combat imposter syndrome by attempting to not self-deprecate and to acknowledging that I am not here because of luck or because of what was I say? Accident. It's not accidental that I am where I am. Any successes that I have are due to hard work and due to me working with talented people that want to continue to work with me. All of the blessings that I have received have been because of that. Because genuinely people enjoy what I do and and are happy to be there. League of Heels is a great example of that, right? League of Heels has exceeded anyone's expectations. It went from a very simple idea. What if we just got everyone together? That was a desire of Harmonix people was, could we create a panel where we could get all our friends together? Because a lot of us work the shows that we're at, and we only get to see people if they're on their break come to our booth. So can we create an event to have to have everybody come and hang out? What would that even look like? Which is, I think, just like genuinely a fantastic idea. And then it grew from there. And it's been on the main stage at PAX East twice, which is phenomenal and bizarre that it has become that thing. We've had incredible games designers from around the world do stuff with us. We've had wrestlers, independent wrestlers come through. We've had video stuff from legit, world-renowned wrestlers. It has exceeded my wildest dreams. And there's an error from some people that, like, this is so weird that this happened, and our show is bad. We don't understand why people would even come to watch it. And I do acknowledge that things are bizarre and it's so weird that we have done as well as we have. I acknowledge that to be true. That is bizarre and it is weird. But I don't for a second ever say that we haven't earned that spot and that we don't deserve that spot and that what we're doing is somehow poor and like that we're like cheating anybody. We're lucky, maybe, but we're earning our spot. I don't personally believe in self-deprecating, and I try to avoid that self-deprecation. I look at it as we have been given some really weird opportunities and we have knocked it out of the park every time. And things go wrong, but that's part of the charm that things go wrong. And we put on good panels that people really like. And that's how I look at it. And that's how I look at everything that I do at PAX. And in general. So, because like, if someone says, it's so weird that you did this, this, and this, I'll say, yeah, my life is weird. It's not that I shouldn't be doing those things. It's that, and it does feel like bragging sometimes, right? It can feel like bragging. And I'm trying to be humble about those things, but I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I've been put in this position and I'm floundering there, because I'm not. I'm killing it when I do those things. That is how I try to be when it comes to stuff like that. So like I can say like, yeah, it's weird that I've done I've done 3 main stage shows at PAX because I was part of the Cards Against Humanity / Giant Bomb extravaganza. I did the weird intermission between the 2 shows, a small version of 404ing it. And that is weird that I have been on 3 main stage shows at PAX. Like, it's strange. That's a weird thing to say. But like, yeah, did a good job with everything. Got laughs when I wanted laughs. Put on some fun shows. Like, I'll say, did a really good job. I mean, look, do I think that internet darling ProZD wouldn't... Okay, before I pose the question, ProZD is at PAX East this weekend. And one of the panels he did was his rating anime wives and husbands, and it's anime and video games. It's a thing that he's done at charity events on his own Twitch. It's stuff that he's done for YouTube, where he and guests rate and rank anime wives and husbands, waifus and husbandos, if we want to use that terminology. And it's to be stated, to be clear, he's not the first person to do an anime-themed panel at PAX. That's me. As far as I can tell. As far back as the records show, because PAX itself does not publicly keep those records. You have to go into the Wayback Machine, and you have to use searches. As far as I can tell, I am the first person, at least at PAX East, to do an anime panel. There may have been one at West when it was just PAX Prime, or PAX. I can't verify that. But I have done an anime panel. He probably would have already done it before. But I could say, like, yeah, I'm one of the only people that's done an anime-focused panel at PAX. And it's just like, yeah, I'll do that. I've done Lego builds at PAX. That panel was fun, but not something I want to continue to do in the future. Because it drew a very young audience, which is not my demo, and not something I'm necessarily interested in approaching in the future. But, like, I don't know. I don't want to ever seem like I am bragging about things, particularly humble brags or whatever. I don't want to ever seem like I'm bragging when I have those opportunities, because I have had people be like, I mean, early on, my first PAX panel had Ryan Davis, Eric Pope, and Chris Kohler. Eric wasn't as known as the others, but he certainly was known in many circles, especially at PAX stuff. And of course, Chris has been known for years in the industry, and I mean, Ryan was very well known and beloved. So, like, it wasn't super out. It was odd that somebody that people didn't know had these guests on the panel, right? And I did have people who were like, how are you doing? What is happening here? And a lot of us is like, I don't know. I have a good idea. I have a lot of experience doing things. And my friends said yes when I asked them to do a thing. I don't feel bad about asking to have people join my thing. And that's the point I was starting with at the beginning of this. It's weird to pitch yourself, in my opinion, but it's not weird, in my opinion, or awkward to pitch people to do your thing, to invite people to do your thing. Like, I had a show at UCB, Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, the week of New York Comic Con, several years ago, many years ago, right? I was doing a show. It was about Comic Con. This was in Chelsea, so it's, you know, walking distance from the convention center. You know, you got to walk just as far to get to the subway. You might as well keep going a little bit farther, come to the theater, right? That was kind of my intent. It was like an evening show, and I shot my shot. I shot my shot. I, through Tumblr, contacted Gail Simone, who I don't know, have never met, because Gail likes comedy. I knew that she knew about UCB. She hadn't been to the Chelsea location in New York, but she had been to the LA location, so I knew she's been on some shows there. So I knew, like, she likes comedy, and explained who I was, what the show was, and said, like, look, it's a show about things we like from the internet, but because this is New York Comic Con themed, Gail is great. You're not wrong, Ghost Val. Because this is New York Comic Con themed, if you want to talk about, like, something from the convention, or I can do an interview segment. I was like, I asked my guests to bring things, but obviously I'm not asking you to do any work, because you're at New York Comic Con doing work. So don't feel like you have to bring any work with you or do any homework. Because also in that show, I had the artist Dave Johnson, Reverend Dave Johnson. And I was like, he was like, I don't have anything to prepare. And I was like, sure. How would you feel okay about me showing some of your most favorite, because he's a cover artist. He does covers for comic books. Would you be okay with me showing some of your favorite ones? And if any stories pop up, you could tell some stories. And he was like, oh, that's so great, because I'm sure when I see them, I'll have something to say. He did the cover for Red Sun. He did every cover for 100 Bullets. Well-renowned, well-regarded, old school dude. He told a story about sitting in the Batman and Batman Returns Batmobile in the car park underneath then WB or DC's headquarters. It was incredible that he was just like, oh, you'll think this is fun. And the audience was just like so psyched. It was great. Anyway, Gail, like, I hadn't met Gail. I didn't know Gail. And she unfortunately had a commitment, but she replied. She was, she said that, like, she would love to go and do something, and I should ask the next time that she, the next year for the next Comic-Con. And it never worked out. She was never a guest, unfortunately. But, like, I know some people would be like, that's weird, Pat. And, like, maybe it was, but it's the thing. I knew that show was going to be good. I had good guests lined up. I had a great crowd come to it. I did good promotion, worked well for it. I had good opportunities to promote it. And I was like, I know it's going to be fun and they're going to have a good time. So like, I never feel bad. Like inviting people to League of Heels, I'm particular about what I say when I pitch it. Because I'm like, hey, this is a show. Ostensibly, there's this like, it's people playing wrestling characters playing wrestling games. And I do my best to explain what it is and what we expect from people. And usually I just say, like, some people do elaborate characters. If you just want to be yourself turned up a little bit, like you but a little meaner, you could totally do that. And like I try to explain what that is when I pitch people that stuff. Like I have pitched wrestlers outside of Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, who has connections with some people in our crew. When I have pitched other wrestlers to come in, I always say the same thing. Here's what the show is. We can't pay you outside of getting you a badge for the event, so you can walk around if you're in town, because you're in town, that's why I'm asking. You can go to the event, you can see some stuff, you can do whatever. You know, like you can go to the show floor and hang out and do whatever you want. And you don't have to wrestle at this event. If you want to work out something with other wrestlers and you want to do a spot, you can totally do that. But consider this just like a cool weekend where you can like do a fun thing and hang out. That is always my pitch for that. Often wrestlers are interested in doing some wrestling moves to show because it gets great applause from the audience, but like I am not pressuring them to do that. Also, generally the folks that I am inviting to do these things are independent wrestlers, or they're maybe they've had bouts on main companies, but they're not like the biggest stars in the world, and they have done shows. They have worked harder for a little bit of money for far few members of an audience. And as somebody that has done improv for tacos, doing a show where the audience was somebody's dad and the other improv groups, and some of the other improv groups didn't even watch the show. I have been there and can relate to doing like shows where you're like, this is really good and there's nobody here. So I really do generally relate to performers who are doing indie stuff, who are busting their asses and putting their bodies on the line for like crickets, which is just awful. So I always try to be like, hey, this is your day off. This is where you can do some silly stuff. You can work as hard as you want to on these shows. And I also we've invited some wrestlers before saying like, hey, the timer I did, we did something. I can't remember what we did. We did something where instead of being in the Rumble, I pitched that if they wanted to come by and sit on guest commentary for a moment, or if they wanted to, like, we could like do an ad break thing and be like, hey, we're going to pause the Rumble right here because we need to talk to our sponsors. And we'd be like, and if you want to just come out and we'll do like a bit that you like paid to have like a sponsorship to the show. Like we can, like, I always pitch people who are donating their time for our silly randomness that they have no concept of what it is, but somebody they like suggested that they do this thing. I always go out of my way to be like, we'll find something fun for you to do. And if we can't find anything fun for you to do, like, don't worry about it. You can just say no. But I certainly shoot my shot when it comes to that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, I am proud of what I do, what I'm building, what I'm creating. I am generally proud of it. Now, the weird thing is asking people for favors is weird. And that's where I feel socially awkward, is like, because I have full faith in the the things that I make and the content that I produce and all of that. I'm putting this on backwards. We're working on the feet right now, by the way. Sorry. We're working on the feet. They're weird looking. I am fully comfortable in the stuff that I create and build. I'm totally confident in that and that being good. But like, it's hard to be like, hey, you have a bigger audience than me. How about you let me come on your thing so I can promote myself or what I'm doing or the event I'm doing. It's a little easier for this particular event plugging the Plamo Weekender because it's for charity. So me saying like, hey, I am working on a charity event and I would like to come on your thing and talk about that charity event and hang out. I am funny and good, and you would want me to be on your thing because I will add value to your thing and it will be fun. And that like is better than me saying like back in the day I would ask, hey, PAX East is coming up or PAX West is coming up. If you have any spot on the Giant Bomb, the Bombcast, or like the Beastcast, I should say, the Beastcast. Like if you have a spot, because they recorded it in person, but like, hey, let me know if I could come in and do some shenanigans with y'all. I have definitely pitched myself on that because like, why not? I am the person, I should say this. When Waypoint has done a few charity streams, and they also did a like we just started a thing stream. I was on the very first we just started a thing stream. I was also on 2 of their charity event streams. Both those times, I said, hey, because at the time I live very close to your office. If you need me to come by, I'd be happy to. And I also pitched, if you need me to come by at night, I am a night owl. When they would be exhausted, so I made appearances in the evening, generally. But and I would pitch like, "Hey, if you need somebody to come in, Austin, I could bring some the SD at the time or the EX gun. I have a couple tiny model kits I could bring in, or I have some Lego I could bring in. Would you be, let me know if that's something that would be fun." And that's hard to. It can be hard to be like, that is me. That's me pitching myself, but with the idea that I'm saying I could be someone coming in fresh to hang out. I might bring a few eyes to the product, especially a charity event, but also y'all know me and I'm good at this. Like, it's a harder thing to just be like, I should be on your thing. It's even harder. Like, I don't do this that often. I almost never do this particular thing, which is pitch myself as a guest where I have nothing to promote and they don't have necessarily any reason to say yes because I want to do it. That is so tough for me. Like when I've read things where people were like, who should be a guest on our podcast? And I have sometimes done the thing of like, not direct reply to the email, the message, but send an email or send a DM later and be like, hey, saw that thing. If you're looking for guests, you know me. I would love to talk to you because I think your podcast is fun. Or you don't know me, here's what's up with me. That is so tough. If I'm just like, I just think it would be fun. I have pitched myself on occasion for things that I have never heard back from, or they have it has just been like pretended. Hey, Sasabi, yes, we were working on the AUG from L Gaim, heavy metal L Gaim. This is the 2021 re-release of this kit. Some of this kit was designed back in 2002, but they put some new parts in to make the connectors a little better, and it doesn't need stickers anymore. So some of these parts replace what used to be stickers. So yeah, this is not the very old one. This is a newer version of it. But anyway, I have pitched myself to be like a guest on things that like sometimes we just never talk about it. And it's fine that is just never brought up because they're not interested in having me as a guest. So the 2002 release is a reprint of the 80s kit, and this is a reissue of that with some new parts. And yes, the 80s kit that has the suits, that is a different kit. Yeah. This one I wanted to pick because it has a scythe and it's gold, and I think that's neat. But anyway, yeah, I have definitely like, I've they say shoot your shot, and I've definitely done that on occasion, and sometimes it's worked out. Sometimes people have been like, yes, we should totally do that, and other times it hasn't worked out, it hasn't happened, and I honestly that's fine. I think like it's totally worth like checking in with people, seeing if there's any interest in having in doing stuff. And also, I think it's totally okay if people are just like, all right, I would hope anyway, and my experience has shown this, that I've never like tried to make something happen and had people be like, well, now I think less of you because you were like, why would you even, suggest that? That hasn't come up. It could come up in the future, but as of right now, it hasn't. So that has been nice. It has been nice that has not come up so far, where somebody has been like, what? You want to do a video with us? What are you talking about? Like, maybe internally that has been somebody's thought process, but it has not, at the very least, been an external issue, which is good because I don't want to imagine it. This one I think is an actual HG. Yes, this is so yeah, exactly what I said. This is the HG that was released in 2002, which was based on early models of this. This is the high grade from 2002 with some new parts that came out in 2021 when this was reissued. So it's new plastic, old mold, with some new parts. Not many new parts, but like these are new parts. Yeah, this is 2021. So these parts are new, and these parts will go over it. And that is, yeah. So there's some new parts, and there's some parts that are old, which is cool. It's enjoyable so far. Anyway, basically, I don't think less of people that try to make things happen. I think if you're going to pitch yourself for something, or if you're going to ask someone to take part in a thing, you should be polite. I always end things with like, hey, if this doesn't work out, let me know if there's something that does in the future, or thanks for even thinking about it, or whatever. I don't go so far as to say no worries, but it is implied that I am saying no worries, because I think that is an important element of going for it. It's just like if you send if somebody has their DMs are open and you send them a message, that's the end of it, unless they decide to reply. Nobody owes you anything for that. But my DMs being open means that if people want to get in touch with me about a thing, they're welcome to do it. But I don't owe them anything. So if I choose not to reply, that is like totally my choice. Okay. Sorry that they stink. But yeah, I mean that is basically the long or short of that. Is just like, I tried to promote the event that I'm doing next weekend quite a bunch, and unfortunately it came up a little shorter than I would like, but also that's fine. This event is sponsored by some good big names. We're gonna get some retweets. We've got some known people doing the event. A word is getting out there within the community. People on this show, this event, are also people that are mods on the Gunpla subreddit, which is helpful, and a lot of people look at stuff there. So we're gonna get eyes on it. Nobody asked me to like try to promote the way I was gonna promote, but I did want to do it if I could. All right, I got to find 64 and 63. The numbering here is all over the place. Like, this is 59 and 60, and that's 34. So finding these parts here is weird. I'm kind of looking at just like the shape here, trying to find the ones I need. Because it's B 64 and 63, and then B 18 and 19. So we'll see. Rystream Gunpla is following. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Let's see. We're going to find... why can't I find these parts? I'm now going to just look at every single part of B until I find the exact pieces that I need, and that is frustrating. Here's 34 and 35. Wait, is that why I couldn't find them? It's because they're Are they misnumbered on the fucking... Okay, no, I was reading it wrong. I found them. I was like, are they misnumbered on the sheet? No, my eyes aren't great. That's the issue we're running into here. I was reading 33 and 63 and 64. I was reading at 33 and 34. Who knows? They might have gotten the numbers. I'm trying to make up for it. No, I was just doing there. Harold's here. What's up, Harold? Happy to have you here. I'm sorry that those kits aren't what you would like them to be, Sazabi. That's a bummer. We all want kits to be great. The fact that this doesn't have any color correcting stickers makes me very happy. But sometimes you don't get what you want. I mean, I'm the one that always talks about that, about the color correcting stickers, and those being sometimes frustrating on high grades. But yeah, Harold, happy you're here. Welcome, everybody. We've got a nice little number of folks here tonight. I apologize if I sound out of sorts. I am very tired today. I am tired and full. It is a weird combination of feelings because we went out to dinner. I got many tacos. I got chicken tacos. I got beef tacos. They were all soft shell. They were all great. I'm very happy that I got those tacos. But I ate many tacos and also did a lot of yard work today. I did so much yard work today that I am definitely very tired. I posted a photo of all of the bags of leaves. So the edge of our property, there is a trench that basically denotes the edge of the property all along. Our neighbors have it as well. Thank you. Thank you, Harold. I do need some more. I am out of sorts. So we have a trench that goes along the property, and that is filled with leaves. It's just filled with leaves, and it's high time that gets cleaned out because the HOA is coming around to look at people's backyards. So a thing that I didn't know we were ever going to need to clean that because this isn't my house. I am a guest here. So I never knew that at some point we were going to have to clean all this shit. So I was just like, oh, really? We got to get in there and do that, huh? Okay. So now I have been just raking so many goddamn leaves and bagging them, and then we got to go to the dump to not recycle, but we got to go to the lawn dumpster and put that all in there. So I got to go do all that, and then there's still more because we didn't finish. We got a lot done today. I'm just exhausted. I did it for several hours. I got to the point. You ever feel this where you're like, oh, I'm like stumbling a little bit. Like my body is like I'm willing myself to go move somewhere, and I just need to like sit down and rest. I have that. Plus with allergies, that doesn't help either. So yeah, it was a bad combination of being tired and also being a little woozy. And then I don't know why we decided tonight would be the night that we would go out. The weather's nice, so we wanted to sit outside at this restaurant, outdoor seating, and get Mexican, which was good at a place my folks like. All right, we're done with most of the feet here, or we're done with the feet that we can do on this part. So now we have to add in the leg, and we're gonna do the right leg. So I'll put this aside, and we'll just keep one of those there. We'll put that with that. And now we're gonna work on the leg, which will be fun. Anyway, it was a weird a day, and I am full of tacos, which is great. I'm happy. They were tasty. And also, they make homemade chips and salsa. Very good. Salsa's just like got a little kick to it, but fine. Like totally cool. So that was really nice. And it was just generally like a good time. But I am full and exhausted. I had a video that like late last night, like I end up shooting 2 videos. My Pat Bear's Anime Club that'll come up on Monday. I end up shooting that last night, and also late last night I shot my a mailbag video because like at 6 o'clock I got something from in the mail that someone bought off my wish list. So the next thing I'm building is an RX-782 from the in honor of the Tokyo Paralympics, which is it's basically the 2015 RX-782. It is in a particular color scheme and has like a white base with like a sticker that goes on there. It's nice. It's a nice kit. I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like. Where'd my mouse go? Here's my mouse. It looks like this. And it's a cool colorway. And, you know, Paralympics. Cool to support. So somebody bought that. So because I knew I was going to be tired today and I was going to be doing a lot of yard work, I was like, you know what? I'm going to record my videos at night. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did it last night because I definitely would not want to do them today. I mean, I could have done Monday's Pat Bear's Anime Club tomorrow, but now I don't have to. Now I don't have to film anything tomorrow, and that sounds great. I am excited about not filming anything tomorrow. So I need 41 and 42. Also, the next recording I'm doing of Do You Remembaer? I know what the subject is. I found somebody was talking about a thing on a podcast, and I'm like, oh, that's what I'm going to talk about. Where is 41 and 42? Here they are, 41 and 42. Found them. So I know I'm doing next for that. That's good. I've watched some stuff from PAX East. I haven't been closely following along with a lot of things. I think I'm going to eventually they'll put some stuff up on YouTube or the Twitch archives will still be up for a while. So I'm going to go back. I watched some of a few things here and there, a little bit of the concerts last night. I watched a little bit of that, which was fun. But I'll mostly go back later and kind of check out some stuff on their YouTube channel because I would like to see them. I'm interested in ProZD's panel because he's very funny, and I have liked the stuff that he's done before with that. Tonight there is Acquisitions Inc. That Xavier Woods is doing, and I think that's very fun, so I'll probably check that out. Jackbox, yeah, there was I have not watched the Jackbox PAX box, or Party Packs, I should say. They called it one and then they changed it, but Party Packs I have not watched. And I guess they announced Fibbage 4. I did hear that is going to come out, which is great, because I like Fibbage. But I haven't watched that yet. I didn't even know Kate Sark was going. I'm glad she went and that she participated in that because she's good on that panel. I got a little FOMO. Mostly my FOMO was just like, aw, Chris and Casey are eating dinner. And I want to eat dinner with Chris and Casey. Aw, friends of mine are there. Like, people I didn't know were going are there. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Hey, Lord Crashington. I watched yesterday's Jackbox panel. I did not watch today's. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check those out. Lord Crashington wants me to hit the ska button. Thank you for using your channel points for the ska. But yeah, I'm going to check some stuff out. That's kind of like tomorrow is me getting I'll get caught up a little bit. Because like I said, today I had lots of lawn stuff, a D&D session, which went really well, and I tried to watch some anime. Speaking of which, we'll talk about it in the next hour. I didn't get to Spy Family, so I'll talk about Spy Family on Monday. And then I will talk about manga on Monday as well. Tonight, I'll just talk about 3 shows, kind of change the script on there. We'll talk about, so instead of, I won't be talking about Spy Family tonight because I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was getting caught up on the shows I watched come out on Fridays, and it comes out on Saturday. And I just got behind, couldn't make it. Speaking of which, if you are more of a dub person than a sub person, the episode 1 dub of Spy Family is out as of today, so you can check that out if that's something you'd like to, if that's how you prefer to watch your anime. Can't tell you the quality of it because I haven't listened to it because I don't particularly. I generally only watch dubs if a friend of mine is in it. Like I was watching some of the Horimiya dub because people like a couple like Y Chang that is somebody that I know from New York who's a voice actor ended up doing it or was in it. He's been in a bunch of things, but that was one I was like, oh, I'll check that out. And there were also some other people that I knew who were taking part, and I was like, well, if people I know are doing it, I'll probably check it out. But generally, I don't like. I prefer the subtitles often, especially simul dubs. It's not that the performers are bad; it's that they're literally just working off of. Maybe they've read the light novel and they've done the research. Maybe they have read the manga. But generally, they're just going off like the script and some notes from the director, the audio director, and because they're doing it like as soon the episodes come out, and then someone works on the script and the scripting, and then they get in a booth or in this case from home and do the recordings. They don't get. Like, they don't have the benefits that old dubs used to of like, well, the episodes are done and out, and now we can look at the show as a whole, right? So, like, twists, they might get, hey, this is the character you're doing, just so you know, here is some backstory of this character that isn't revealed until, like, episode 7, but maybe if you know it, you can use it in your performance. Like maybe they get that, but often they're just going like on generalities because maybe even the person who's doing the casting like doesn't have access to information about that in the moment. So like I don't know, I'm not as in love with the simul dub because they just don't have the time to like really get the information. And also sometimes the people doing the Japanese version don't get that information either. They're just, kind of going on just like the script in front of them and the notes they've been given, and they aren't getting that like excellent feedback or like just being like, well, as somebody who like knows what the story is and what's going on, I can tell you this about the character. I would say that fan dubs are a mixed bag of people who definitely know a lot of what's going on with a story, which can be a bad thing because also a lot of fan dubs are embarrassing because maybe they're like, hey, I am really dedicated to this series, but also I am very amateurish when it comes to voice acting. So I generally avoid fan dubs because enthusiasm is awesome, but it doesn't replace craft. And there are some people that have done fan dub events and fan dub stuff that in limited capacities are great at it and manage to bring life to a character. And those are people that are like aspiring to get into the thing. But I've also run into a lot of stuff that is just like, oh, I don't know if you should be doing this. I think you are taking your fandom too far. Also, I'm sure both old fan dubs didn't have to have an episode dubbed and finished in a week. Yeah, so like, there would be a big gap between a season of an anime finishing in Japan and then it appearing on American television. So they had more time. They didn't always know exactly what was going on in the show, but they would have like some information about what was going on there. And now it's like within a week the dub is out, and that's a very quick turnover, which is a lot. Yeah, I mean, it's just but also I should say fan dubbing isn't something I'm particularly interested in, but also dubbing isn't something I'm particularly interested in general. Like, I just, I don't watch Adult Swim. That's now not how I anymore. So I don't, or Toonami. That's now how I watch anime. I watch anime like that came out, subtitled, and then I watch it like I'll go back and watch some things I didn't watch in the moment, but for the most part, I'm also generally watching the simulcast release because it's a show that I want to watch and I want to watch it when it comes out. But yeah, I'm not necessarily there for the dub versions. There have been a few exceptions here and there. Often it's things that are really dense and a lot is going on visually, so maybe I just want to hear what's being said instead of watching this thing and reading and having to go back. So in that particular aspect, I do prefer dubs. Generally, that's just, like I said, when it is a very dense amount of material and I'm like, oh boy, too much is going on right now. I'm going to pick the condensed version of this. Yeah. I mean, look, the thing about fan work um, is that it can be exclusively a labor of love. And there's some very good points about labor of loves, very good sides to that, in that, like, it's an investment in your time because of passion. It's not a job you're doing. It's not, it's the time commitment is just yours. So, like, a fan game can take 10 years to come out. And it's fine because it was just like, oh yeah, a bunch of people put some resources into this and put some time into it, and then they made the thing. Because they are all doing it as a passion project, and no one is doing it to make a living, and is the thing they're doing outside of that. And like, yeah, then you can put a lot of effort into it, and you can do, you can end up with a quality product because you are working very hard on a thing in your spare time. And that is a different thing from, we are a company hired to do a thing, and we have a timeline, and we have demands, and we have people in management who don't remember or have never experienced what it's like to get things done, and we have a deadline, and we have many deadlines, and oh, they changed it, and oh, all of these voice lines are wrong because this thing, the information we were given is whatever, and they redid the opening and cut a bunch of stuff, and now we have to do ADR and all this other stuff that, like, fans don't have that. They have a finished product that they can then edit themselves and work on themselves after the fact as long as they want. And there's something I think sometimes very cool about, why does this not want to line up? Is this too high? This could be too high. Anyway, right now, this piece does not want to go in here, which makes me think that these pieces here are too high up, which is causing that. I'm thinking that might be what's happening. So we're gonna take these off. Oops, threw it away. But yeah, I mean, like, look, I do appreciate when people are like, oh, the fans went back in and they are retooling this thing and they're putting in some cut content and they're doing this and they're doing that. And like, I hear that and I'm like, oh, that rules. That's cool. But I think that a lot of people, like people treat localization like it's some horrible thing. And it's just like, oh, well, the literal translation is so much better. And it's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you've got, like, okay, sure, I guess. I don't know. I've never subscribed to that. The idea that, like, well, no, this version is the definitive version and it's done by the fans. It's like, cool. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know. It's just never my thing. All right, and did this line up right this time? It did. Hooray! I had that lined up wrong, and now it's lined up right. Congratulations to me, your friend Pat, for figuring that part out. We're going to get this far down here. We're going to finish part 1 of step 8, because step 8 is 4 parts somehow. We're going to finish this thing, and then I'll take a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel. Then we'll talk about some anime, because that also is the thing we're going to do on stream. We'll talk about some video game stuff. The second hour has been decided, and it's going to be great. Let's see. Let's do 32 and 31. Do this here. Okay. And all right. Do that. And that's 32 is on this side. 31 is on the other side. Got a lot of little plastic connector parts on here that need to come off, which is fine. It's totally okay. Keeping an eye for undergating parts that need to be removed, because occasionally I don't notice that, and then I go to put a thing together and I realize, like, oh, there's a nubbin. That nubbin needs to come off because I fucked that part up. It is important to look for that when there is undergating involved, because you don't want to mess it up. And here we go. All right, we'll take a pause on that, and we'll come back to it in a minute. It is time for the pause for the cause. If you're new to the stream, what's going to happen right now is I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel if you're interested. If you're not available to, if you can't, or if you just choose not to, that's okay. You're under no obligation to do any of these things. But because I have to keep buying model kits and I have to keep building model kits to continue to be a model kit building stream, I have ways for, if you're interested, you can support what I do here. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you Amazon Prime, linked with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use it on streamer. You can use it for me. We are currently at 40 out of 45 subscribers, trying to get back up to that 45. We did have two ghost files here, so I saw that. We had two gifted subs tonight. Aristofan gifted some subs. Gifting subs is another way to support what I do here, getting somebody in the community. Bits and coins also always appreciated, because we're always trying to keep consistent numbers enough that I can get a payout every month, so I can use that money to buy model kits. And I appreciate everyone that has ever taken the time to donate anything in any way. If you've been a subscriber for 1 month or for 3.5 years, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm just going to go through a few things here, a few ways that you can support. And I have a Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear. I got a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. This coming week, I will be asking folks to submit questions in the Patreon, because I do the only exclusive thing, the only thing I do that's not a timed exclusive, that like literally only certain people get, is every month I do a Q&A specifically for my Patreon, and being at the $1 level gives you access to that. It's the only exclusive. Everything else is just like, you get this a little earlier than everyone else. That's the only exclusive I have, is that, and that's coming up at the end of the month. Let's see. Also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. You could join that if you're interested in doing that. My YouTube channel is cool. I post videos there every other Monday and every Wednesday. And there's a membership. You can join that for $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos a day early. And those are all monthly ways to support me. But you could also one-time donation. Everything I make through donations and through Patreon and YouTube and Twitch all goes to me buying model kits and equipment. So if you wanted to help me out in any way, and that way, that's your money directly goes to me buying model kits. This AUG was purchased with funds from that. I have a backlog of stuff. I just got the White Rider and the Black Rider, which are based on the Pale Rider kit. Those are Bandai Premium kits. I just got those in the mail today, and I'll be building those in the future, and that comes from support of folks like you, which I appreciate very much. Now, I said I have stuff in my backlog. This kit was voted on by my $10 patrons on what I should build next. If there's something you see on my Amazon wish list and you buy that, that becomes the next thing I build. Right now, the next thing I'm building is the RX-782 that celebrates the why can't I remember the name? The Paralympic. I was about to grab it, but I remember the Paralympic Games from 2020. That was purchased off my wish list, so that jumps the queue. That's the next thing I'm going to work on. If you go to my wish list, you can see I've got Lego sets there. I've got model kits, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, kits that are on have Prime delivery, stuff that doesn't. I have expensive kits towards the bottom. And some gear at the very bottom, because like sometimes people are like, I want to support what you do, but I don't particularly care what model kit you build or what Lego set you put together. But here you go. Enjoy a chair. I don't know. I have a few things there. So if you buy something like that, I'll shoot a video. Also, I will have it jump the queue because that's the least thing I can do. Alternatively, you could go to USA Gundam store and buy a gift card and then DM me on Twitter, because my DMs are open, with the gift card code you get, because they just send you an email with the gift card code. You could do that if you're just like, I don't want to use Amazon, but here you go. Or you could check out my wish list at Throne. It's a smaller list because they don't have as much as an Amazon, but I do want to endorse Throne because they are very particular about keeping the identities and locations secure and safe of the people who use their list, because while I am someone that streams under my own name and make that information available, other people don't put that information, or they don't want that information to come out. They want to keep those separate, and Throne does a great job helping out with that. A way to help me that does not involve money is you could join my Discord if you wanted to. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It's a small little community. Sometimes there's no posts in a day. But it's nice having a little Discord, so feel free to go in there. A couple of video links for you to check out. I will have a new one on Monday, but my current Pat Bear's Anime Club is me talking about the streaming service, High Dive, which I used to be able to have access to when it had a partnership with Crunchyroll. They don't have that partnership anymore, and I signed up for it because there were 2 shows this season that I wanted to watch that are on High Dive. And I'm expecting that to increase as we go on, that there'll be a few things here and there. So I took a look at it. It's not sponsored. I just took a look at the service since I just started using it and kind of talk about the site. And then there's Do You Remembaer, my ongoing weekly video series where I read something on the internet, often Wikipedia, try to remember everything I can from it, and then present it in a fun and maybe educational way. And this is Adolf Sax, aka the inventor of the saxophone, who, as a child, almost died a lot. Accidental, hit his head on a rock and then fell into a river and almost drowned. He went to sleep in a room where the furniture had been varnished and almost died of asphyxiation. Just like a lot of shit that this kid should have died several times, but he instead grew up to invent the saxophone. And the house where he grew up in that honors him in Belgium is called Mr. Sax's house. And that's a fucking cool name. So yeah, I talked about the inventor of the saxophone. And that's that video. So check that out if you haven't already, because I think it's one of my best of the Do You Remember series. The next one is going to be about an animal, and it'll be good. So that's my tease there. All right, we're going to talk about some anime, because I got 3 shows to talk to you about. 2 romantic comedies and 1 not a romantic comedy, but very much. Although it could turn into a romance show, maybe, but it's definitely not romantic. It's definitely not a comedy. We'll talk about that in a moment. First, I'm going to dramatically transition back to building, and I'm also going to drink a little water. Thank you very much for that. That is a dramatic transition. Oh yeah, let me check. Sometimes it's nice to check Twitter, and we'll retweet that. See if we can get a few more friends to join us. Okay, so going to talk about 3 anime series tonight. I put 4 fingers out there, but I meant 3. Spy Family I'll talk about on Monday. I apologize that I did not get to it. But yeah, I'm just going to chat with you all about 3 series here. We're in the 3rd season of Kaguya-sama Love is War, which is also, in this case, called Ultra Romantic, which is a fun name. We're definitely dealing with 3rd season blues here. Because, it's an ongoing manga, right? It's not, they don't write the manga, or, you know, for it to have like seasonal feel, like building to something. Occasionally it does build. Usually it's in the first season, they're like trying to like stretch the arc or accommodate the arc or whatever. But by the time you get to a third season of an anime, it really is just like weekly events. So, last season introduced a new character to kind of mix things up. And this season is like returning to some characters from the previous seasons. And then also we did introduce a character that we haven't seen much of. She's just kind of been referenced. And now she's like, I guess, going to be a character we have to deal with. And that's annoying. I don't particularly love that. Like, I understand the idea of like, well, if we bring in this character, then it will change the dynamic because now like there's a new person to like bounce stuff off of. But I don't know. It's not my favorite. There's something to be said that maybe shows don't need to have multiple seasons in anime. Like, not everything is a shonen that like tells like an epic tale. Sometimes like the one season is kind of all you need. And I'm sort of feeling that right now. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'm wrong. But right now that is what I feel. Let me see what we're looking here. Yeah, some real trash people on this Kaguya. Yeah, I mean, Lashberg, like, it is like a little frustrating. Like Nagisa, we've seen before. She's the girl that has come to some of our characters for love advice. And basically, she's not necessarily a character that I particularly enjoy. But she thinks her boyfriend is cheating on her. And it's basically a misunderstanding. It is not a misunderstanding that there is a girl in the picture who is spending time with her boyfriend and is clearly trying to break them up. But the boy does not understand that and is not trying to get involved. Also, I should say, everybody who's giving this couple advice are not in relationships themselves, have never been in relationships, and have no business giving advice to anyone, which is part of the fun, in my opinion. That these are people that are just like, oh, this girl that has no concept of this shouldn't be telling you if you should be... if you're being cheated on or not. Like, she should have no say in what's happening here because there's just no way that she has any information about that thing. And I do find that funny. Oh, it's telling me how this looks. Okay. So that's the first part. And then we meet Maki Shijo, which I believe this is the first time we met her. If she was like around before, I forget. But anyway, she's the person who's instigating because she likes Nagisa's boyfriend, and we have this like weird thing where she's talking with Ishigami and Shirogane, and like that's very fun because they are very much in over their heads as far as like trying to help this girl who is very tsundere but also like conniving and like could easily, she's a tsundere who could easily slip into being yandere and being like a fucking problem. She's also like kind of related to what's her name, Kaguya, like distance related, and does remind Shinigami of her, so that's kind of fun. Let's see. And the animation, look, the animation and music in this segment, the swelling of the music in this segment is fantastic. It's really solid. We need E7 here, and I put E1 out, so messed up there. But yeah, it's very fun. The misunderstandings go very far. And we're probably going to see more of her, I would assume now that she thinks she has confidants, which is fun, I guess. But yeah, adding more characters in, that's fine. Third story here, which is, it very much feels like this is just, it very much feels that in this particular instance, we are just seeing several like chapters in a manga, like back to back to back, just going through it. That very much feels like what we're doing here, and that's fine. Like I said, I think that's okay. All right, so this goes like that, and then that one. Okay. I might be doing this wrong. If I am, we'll figure it out. We'll fix it. Third one, they play the 10 yen coin game, which is like a group date activity where underneath a blanket or like a napkin or something, you vote yes or no to questions, and nobody knows who said, like, heads or tails is yes or no to questions, and nobody knows who said what. And it's very much like that's right, I'm doing this wrong. It's very much like a group date activity that they're trying out. And it gets personal, but mostly light. And then, like, Kaguya figures out a way to scam Shirogane, who then tries to counter, but the counter doesn't actually work. And, like, people are kind of stumped. It's fun. I think it's pretty light and fun to see them. And it is more of their, like, weird games these two characters have, which I generally enjoy because I don't particularly love the, like, will they, won't they? But this show is so over the top in these two characters who clearly have feelings for one another and are trying to get the other to say something to not lose the war is, like, on paper, not something I will be interested in. But I think that the characters are really fun and well presented, and the story is really good. So I'm willing to give it that, even if I've grown to really love this show. Also, the end theme here, the song is great. The ending animation is so weird. It's one of those, like, show animations where it's like the characters, but they're in, like, a different setting, like what if this was a different genre? So it's like, it's this weird animated visual novel vibe to, like, Starship Troopers. It's very strange and very weird and very good. And then it's clearly a dream that one of the characters is having, but it's such a strange thing, and it doesn't fit in, but it's the closing theme, so it's okay. But it's so striking. The last one, it reminds me a lot of one of the seasons of My Hero Academia where the ending theme was imagining them as if it was like a fantasy novel and what their characters would be like if if it was a fantasy show. And I remember that one being really fun. I forget there was another series that the ending theme was just them in, like, school uniforms, and it was like a sad show, like a sad violent show, but it, like, gave you the idea of, like, well, what if they were all just, like, nice and in high school? And it's just like, oh, that would be cool. We're not getting that, though. Instead, everyone's sad. There's so much going on with this damn leg. We're on the leg, and it's cool that we're on the leg, but there's just so much going on here. Now I need C2 18, so we'll do that. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, so that's it. Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's a little bit by the numbers right now because it's just the third season, but I'm still enjoying it. That is one I would say. Go back and watch now you can watch it all on Crunchyroll, because for a while there, you could only watch the second season on Funimation, but now you can watch it all together, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Also, avoid the OVA. That's bad. The manga it's based on, side manga story it's based on, isn't good, and the OVA is not great. So I would say skip that. Okay, Executioner and Her Way of Life. Not my favorite of these episodes. I love this premise, the idea that anytime someone is summoned from Japan to this fantasy world, the risks involved are so great that, like, some people don't have much power at all. Other people have unbelievably insane powers that are very much a bad idea, and there have been disasters on a huge scale. So now there is a group that kills them before they can have a calamity, even if they wouldn't, even if they didn't succumb to this amazing power, because they're often almost exclusively teenagers, and like suddenly having like this kind of power is a bad idea. Like, it is an interesting exploration of that. We get some backstory of our girl Meno and or Menoa, and yeah, like, I think there's more to it than we're getting here. I've been suspect about this. This girl that, like, oh, well, she lost her family and everything she in this disaster, and even her personality was taken away and her feelings were taken away, and then like the person that saved her, becomes her teacher, and it's just like, okay, this seems all kind of neat. And also, this is an anime, and it's got a church in it. And generally, churches in anime don't end up being awesome. It's very rare that they end up being like, and it was all very cool because thank God the church was there. It just generally doesn't happen. So I am expecting there to be some twists there. Anyway, this was mostly a flashback, and then like they made it to the city, and they meet the head of the church. Or one of the high-ranking members of the church, and then it's basically said, like, all right, in 2 days, they're still prepping this room that can kill Aharen, who has control over time, her own personal time. Look, yeah, it's one of those things where you're just like, look, this church has an assassin squad. Like, and also, there have been hints that our main character has memory flashes. She has dreams about Japan as if she was a student there. So like the idea that she is like, my thought has been for a while now that like, oh, they trained an isekai girl to kill other isekai people. Like, that's my big thought, and I don't have any information on that. I don't want to be spoiled on it because I have not read the source material, but my big assumption is like, oh yeah, they're using her. Or maybe they didn't even know. But, like, my thought is, oh, it's pretty, like, being set up that this girl, like, no, like, is also from Japan. Anyway, in a couple days, she is going to, Aharen will finally die. She thinks she's going to be sent back to her world, but that's impossible. So we'll see if that ends up, what happens in 2 days. Meanwhile, there's a kidnapping case that feels weird. It feels weird. It's like, hey, you brought this girl that can control time, and we're going to get rid of her in 2 days, so keep her distracted. Also, while you're at it, solve these cold cases of these missing girls. Feels very weird. Like, just let her do the other job. Why are you giving her more work? So I'm wondering what that's going to end up being. Anyway, I don't know. Yes, Sazabi, that's why I'm saying they probably are, because it is so commonplace. In a show where our main character pretends to be nice so that she can unsuspectingly murder people who haven't done anything wrong yet, but have the possibility of doing something so wrong in the future that they need to be murdered, while the church that has all the power and the royalty wants more power, that's why the summonings are happening. All of this just feels like that there's more going on, and it won't be like a good reveal, but there's gonna be a like episode 10 reveal that actually gets changed by episode 11 or 12. That's like, oh, that's not what's going on. This is what's going on. Like, there's just like, it just feels very like boilerplate, even though I think this idea of it is interesting, of like looking at the, well, I'm sure there are some people that don't want otherworlders. They don't want these folks to come in. And it is probably a bad idea that teenagers are given like omnipotent, incredible power. It's probably not good. They probably don't understand how to use it. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But I am enjoying the show so far. Aharen-san is the last show I'll talk to you about tonight. This is a light comedy. This is a romantic comedy where the characters are not dating yet. They are just getting to know one another. Although our teacher at first, their homeroom teacher, who is like, look, it's over the top and very funny and hard for me to explain, but their closeness is misinterpreted as them being in a relationship. And she's like, are they flirting in my class? But then she's like, wait, no. They're helping each other. He's being helpful and attentive. This is great because that's just like this character's personality is her. Like it's again, I'm talking about comedy and it's very difficult to be like, this thing happened and it was very funny. Like that is in many ways a fool's errand for me to explain what is happening here. D9, D10, and there's some undergating for me to do here. So it is basically a fool's errand for me to explain comedy moments, but I will tell you it is very funny. And then Raido, our dude, wants Aharen-san to be more expressive. He wants to help her because she doesn't talk much, and he's bad at understanding what she wants and what she's trying to say because he's not great at reading her expressions. So he's like, all right, what if, what if you like mimic me? And also, here's the thing to note: our dude not very expressive himself because he always just looks stern, because he's got a scary face. So basically, that doesn't work. And they're like, well, we worked hard, so let's go like get ourselves a reward. And for whatever reason, Aharen-san has never listened to rap music before, and so, or she's just never been interested in it. So she goes and listens to it and has a good time. And I generally do not enjoy when voice actors are forced to rap, especially if it's supposed to be good. Now, some people can rap, and some people that can rap are voice actors, but that is not a lot. In this case, Aharen-san isn't supposed to be great at it, but she's supposed to be expressive at it, and she does a pretty good job with it. And our boy Raido is supposed to be bad, which is great, and all anime voice actors should also have to, or should also like need to do it poorly. Like he literally does, my name is Raido and I'm here to say. It is very funny to watch these two characters with microphones that have built-in like speakers in it. The sound effect is done very well, and they basically start communicating via rap, and it's the most expressive we've ever seen. And like they're communicating about things. It is a very good scene. It's very silly in a way that I really enjoyed. The problem is that when they rap at each other, it becomes combative because it becomes like a freestyle rap battle, and that's one of the reasons they have to stop. Well, the actual reason they have to stop is because they can't have microphones at school, so they get confiscated, and it's just not the same without the mic. It's just very silly. Like, that's the reason they can't do it anymore, because it just doesn't feel right unless you're holding a microphone. It is really fucking funny. Again, very difficult for me to be like, and this scene was very funny. And like, I understand if you're just like, sure, Pat, sure it was. But please believe me, it was a humorous bit of business. Let's see. All right. So this goes like this. And, oh, what's that? I was supposed to do. I didn't understand this part. I was supposed to put the other leg pieces on. I missed a step. Anyway, the third bit of business here is Aharen-san gets a fidget spinner from Raido. So this place is where when the manga came out. The manga came out and fidget spinners were still a thing that people were obsessed with. Anyway, Aharen-san is very good at the fidget spinner. She's too good at the fidget spinner. She focuses so much on it that she loses sleep, which is very weird. and then she gets her fill of it. She uses it so much as she's done with it. But while she was very good with a fidget spinner, it was decided by some kids that she was going to become their leader or their king because she's very good with a fidget spinner. And then there's some shenanigans with Reversey playing against another kid and like trying to make two kids feel better, which was silly and fun and weird. And we find out that Rido is actually genuinely really bad at Reversey and loses to a little kid, which I think is very funny. And they're like, he's like trying to get them to stop bothering Aharen-san, and they're like, "Who are you? The king's assistant? Get out of here! You should go get us juice." And this is very fun. They're just like blatantly really rude to They're rude to a scary high schooler. This dude, like the whole premise is that this dude never had friends in middle school because he has like a rough face that scares people. Like he has resting bastard face. But they're like, get us drinks, which I found very funny. I will take a look at your question in a second, Sazabi, because I want to finish talking about this episode because that's what I want to do on my stream, and then I will take a look at your question. It also ends with Aharen whistles and a dog shows up because Aharen is a tiny person and she rides the dog home, the family dog, and I don't fucking know. Like, will we ever see that dog again? Was it just a gag? It was an after credits gag, which is also weird to have an after credits gag. But yeah, it was a weird little bit of business. And I was like, what's happening here? Where's this dog come from? What's going on here? It was funny and weird. This show is adorable. I love their relationship. I think they are very cute. And they are phenomenal. So I enjoy them. I also enjoy that so far I don't dislike any of the minor characters, and that's so goddamn rare for an anime that I'm like not. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll introduce some, but that was the thing that kept me from loving Komi Can't Communicate and only liking Komi Can't Communicate is that I don't enjoy most of the secondary characters. So this show so far, I like all the secondary characters. They're good. They're also not really there because it's really focusing on the two. So that's my thoughts on those three pieces of anime. I will now look at Sazabi's question. Thank you for using your channel points for this. Sazabi asked, what are your thoughts on Gundam Ariel, the new main suit for the new show coming, Witch from Mercury? I think it's too busy. I think there's too much going on in it. It is like an amalgamation of a bunch of different good suits from a bunch of different, like, recent modern shows. Like, there's a little bit from a bunch of recent stuff, and I think I'll have to see it in motion. Maybe I will really like it in motion, but just in like, this is what the model kit's gonna look like. I'm not sold on it. I would love to be proven wrong, but right now, it feels like too busy, too much, too many like. Well, we didn't make an original thing. We're making like a send-up, but not a send-up of like a kit or a mobile suit, but like a bunch of them. I mean, it is different. You're not wrong. I'm definitely more interested in that. I'm gonna see if I can find the name of the other suits that they put out there. There's one that I was interested in because it looks like a villain suit, and I do like those. Let's see. Did they include? There will be Gunpla, mobile suits, Ariel. Oh yeah, the Bergen bow. I think the Bergen bow or Beggar bow. I don't know. The bow. The bow is the one that I was like, this is the one that I think looks cool. Let's see if I can find an image of it. Yeah. We put that. Can I put that there? There. This is the one that I think. Where'd it go? Oh no, undo. Sorry. This is the one that. Well, why does it keep disappearing? God damn it. Anyway, that kit. I like the look of it. It reminds me a little bit of the Vidar. I love purple in a mobile suit, So I am very much interested in that. All right, let's try to do this again. One last time, I'm going to try to add this damn thing. This is the suit that I am, of the three that have been shown, the one I am most interested in is desktop. There it is. This one. The bow. This is the one that I am most interested in because it does remind me a lot of the Awkward Designs of G Reco. Yeah, it's got Iron Blooded Orphans vibes to it and some G Reco. I don't necessarily see the turn A in those suits, but like yeah, it just feels like an odd amalgamation of a bunch of different kits, and I'm not particularly sold on all of it, but I'm willing to get in, to give it a shot. I mean, I'm just happy there's a new Gundam coming out because I like Gundam, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, this kit is the one I'm most interested in because it does remind me a lot of the Vidar, or like, the F91 Villains mobile suit, which I forget the name of. It reminds me a bit of that. But I also I really like purple in mobile suits. I think it's an underused color. So I'm going to do some paneling on this kit. We did finish one leg, so now we got the chest done, and we've got both feet, and then we've got the one leg done. So we're making some good progress on our AUG, and we'll continue working on that. The next stream, we got some time left on this stream, though, so we can keep working on that. Vignagina. Yes, the Vignagina. It's not really a villain suit. You're right. I misspoke on that. The original Vignagina, the purple friend, that does remind me of that, which just, feels very much like a Megatron mobile suit. It does remind me a bit of that. Not the second Vignagina, too, which is just goes back to being red. Too much red. I don't need red in a mobile suit anymore. I think red can be retired. Unless there's a new Char. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's actually Char, and Char has a new mobile suit, then, like, yeah, you can make that red. But, like, other than that, I don't need red in my mobile suits. I don't need maroon in my mobile suits anymore either. But that's me. All right. Folks, what have you been playing? What have you been watching? Now's a good time to throw in some chat. If you've been watching anything, if you've been playing any video games, if you've been reading anything that you want to talk about, feel free to let me know what you're up to. I will say, on my end, your friend me, Pat, I'm back on my bullshit. And my bullshit is watching videos of things being cleaned. Sometimes ASMR, sometimes with people talking as they're doing it, sometimes with voiceover added later. I have been watching a lot of that on YouTube. I'm currently watching a lot of power washing and cleaning of NGHIJKN. Great. Watching a lot of carpet cleaning, like rug cleaning. And you know what? It's fucking satisfying. That's still satisfying shit, but that has been me back on my bullshit. In this case, my bullshit being watching those videos and being like, hell yeah, clean that shit. Birgit Dallas. Okay. I'm not super familiar with that because I'm not super familiar with Crossbone. But yeah, let me know in the chat, friends, if you've been watching anything, if you've been reading anything, if if you're playing any games. I'm still playing Hearthstone a lot. I did a D&D session today that I was happy with. My main crew D&D. That was good. I was attempting to play more Halo with my Halo friends, and we didn't, but we're going to try to play tomorrow. And I hope we do, because I still want to play Halo with people that I like, my Halo friends. I don't want to play with strangers. I just dropped a piece just bounced, and I don't know where it went, and that's very frustrating. Hold on. Where'd it go? There it is. Is it here? No. Yes. Hooray, I found it. It did not blend into the carpet. Thank God. So yeah, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm hopefully gonna get some Halo in tomorrow with my Halo crew. Because like I said, I do enjoy playing Halo with friends. Lastbrook says, finally getting back into Elden Ring after a bunch of time off. Rewatched Pig today, and it's still a fantastic film. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, let's see. Other video game stuff. Yeah, so I'm playing a scam rogue deck where if everything goes right, you play a bunch of the death rattle effects from a bunch of death rattles, high cost and good death rattles. It has a high win rate if you're lucky, and if you are not lucky, it is very bad. But I've been playing that a lot. I am still playing, for those that have been following along, Switcheroo is getting nerfed in Standard and banned in Wild, so I've been playing my Stitcheroo Wild deck. I abandoned my Stitcheroo Standard deck. I'm going to need a new Standard deck to play, because that is not going to be as fun. Or maybe people will find a different way to play that deck. But right now, it's not worth doing, so I'm not. But I still been playing my Wild version, and then eventually that'll be banned in Wild. Now, the new card for Standard will be that it switches the health of 2 minions. So in Wild, that doesn't change anything because of Switcheroo, or because of Topsy Turvy and Inner Fire. So since those are not in Standard, they can change it in Standard and then just ban it in Wild, which is I'm fine with, because that card is busted. Let's see. Yeah. So that's me playing Hearthstone. Like I said, got a new scam deck, enjoying that, getting some wins. It does not win enough to be considered a good deck. It is purely an okay deck, but I enjoy it very much, so I'm playing that. And I still got my Evolved Shaman. I like that Shaman deck quite a bit. I'm still trying to make a Warrior deck with some of the new cards work, with some of the new Dredge cards, like discount Dredge cards. Still trying to make that happen. I got a Colossus out of a pack, but it's not a card I want to use. Trying to play through Xenoblade Chronicles 2 before the sequel is out in July. That game is so full of anime tropes that I kind of wish it would calm down a bit. Yeah, Xenoblade seems to have like a lot of anime. It seems to be a lot of anime bullshit in that game. You're not the first person I've heard that said, like, wish this thing would just, like, chill out a little bit. Why is this like this? What's going on here? This is like... There we go. Weird. Needed to snap together, and then it did, and everything's okay. It worked out. Everything worked out fine, people. All right, we're going to get the foot connected here before we wrap things up. But yeah, I don't have any like new games that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play this on the horizon. I mean, there's some stuff. I'm keeping an eye. 2K22, WWE 2K22. If that drops more on Steam, I will probably end up picking it up. Let me just quickly see where we're at here on Steam with the price of that. I'd be keeping an eye on it to see if it ends up being something that I want to check out. Still waiting, hoping that we're going to get our next update for Power Wash Simulator to come out. I'm still hoping that comes out soon, because it has not yet. And then, let's see, I'm going to check my wish list, see what shows up on there. And Dorf Romantique goes out of early access into full release next Thursday. Okay, WWE is at $60 right now. It was down a little bit, and then it's back up to $60, so I got to keep an eye on that. Harold's been playing a bunch of SRX, the game, since SRX Racing Series has been announcing a lot for their upcoming season. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Let me close this. Sorry. Close that out. That's very cool, Harold. Hope you're having fun with it. So Dorf Romantique is going out of early access next Thursday, I believe. And so we will probably do the following Wednesday. We'll probably do a Dork Romantic stream now that it is out of early access to kind of celebrate that. And I have not played that in a while, so I would like to play that this Wednesday stream. I should say this Wednesday. I am going to be returning to my playthrough of Pokemon Platinum Randomizer. So we were returning to the world of Pokemon Platinum Randomizer. I hope you will come and watch that this Wednesday. Of course, Monday, model kit building, working on the AUG, and inviting other people who are doing the Plastic Model Weekender stream. I should put that in here real quick. Plasma Weekender is next weekend. So I am taking part in that. I will be streaming from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. on the Plamo Twitch account, and not here, but I will be hosting it here. So if you forget, you can always check that out there. That's next week. It starts on Friday and runs through Sunday. And so Monday and Thursday, I will invite people from the community to come in and be a guest on the stream. So we kind of like talk about that and talk about the event and all that. Okay, we'll jot that on there. Yeah, so that'll be Monday and Thursday doing that as we work on model kits. And then, of course, on Wednesday, like I said, Pokemon Platinum Randomizer will be the stream thing. I forgot a piece of undergating here. It's close because there's this little undergate piece that's very close to the connector piece. And so I didn't notice it. I made this mistake before. But yeah, excited about Plamo. Again, I will be on a bonus podcast for a stream next week. We'll probably talk about that. But right now, I am just a guest on their stream, which is very cool. And I don't know. I don't know if there's anything else to say other than thanks so much for watching the stream. I think we're going to call it quits here for the night. We made some very good progress on our AUG. We finished the chest, we built a whole leg, and then we started on the other leg. So we get some progress done there. It's weird to not do the arms and do the legs next, but that's what this kit wanted me to do. So we did it. And that is going to wrap up the stream for tonight. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. I appreciate it very much. If you're here for 10 minutes or if you're here for the full 2 hours, thank you very much for spending some time with me here on our stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream. We're going to go hang out in somebody else's community of people that I think are great. They're not always model kit builders. And in fact, they're almost never model kit builders. They're usually just people that I think are great and doing cool shit. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. We're gonna see. Oh no, we're not doing that. We're not gonna raid that person. All right, we're gonna go raid Matt Wiggins. Matt Wiggins is playing Outer Wilds. We often raid Matt on a Saturday because it streams later than I do. So feel free to join me on. Yes, Plastic Model Weekender is a complete marathon from people from all over the world, starting on Friday, going through Sunday. There's going to be a lot of people participating. It's going to be great. But we are going to go raid Matt Wiggins. Matt is playing Outer Wilds. Matt rules, so we're going to go hang out with him while he's on stream, while he's playing a game. So feel free to come along on this stream. Thanks so much, everybody who was here tonight. I appreciate you very much. I hope you join me on this raid. Hope you come back on Monday as we continue on this model kit. I will see you on the next Build with Baer. Have a great night, everybody. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.